Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to discuss about another important topic for Angular signal, that is the difference between set and update method. From last couple of sessions, we have discussed all the possible ways and all possible examples related to set as well as update method. But now some of you might be thinking, like, what are those scenarios where we are supposed to use set function, and what are those scenarios where we are supposed to use update function or update method. So these things will be cleared in this session, because we are going to discuss each and everything in detail, like when to use set and when to use update. But before we proceed with this session further, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow them sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for time being we are just mainly focusing on how to use what is the difference between set and update method. Okay, alright, so let's get started. Now what we will do here, we will simply create one signal. Actually we will create two signal. On one signal we will try to use set method, and on another one we will try to use update method, and parallelly we will also discuss their differences. Okay, so let's go to app.component.ts file. Here in the app component, let me remove this thing first so that I can show you the thing. Now what we will do, we will simply go to this app component. Here we will mention firstly I'll put one comment declaring signals. Okay, now here we will mention signal name as, let's say, user ID. So user ID 1 signal. So once I write this signal and hit enter, here you can see this thing is automatically added to import section, and make sure that it is added. In case if because of any reason if it is not there, please make sure to add it manually, otherwise it won't work. Okay, so always make sure to put signal in the import section so that you can use it throughout your application. Now we have mentioned this thing, and we all know this is just a wrapper of the value. So now we can put the value. So let's say I want to assign the value as 50 and then a semicolon. So this signal is ready. Okay, now we will print it, and then later on I'll explain you the set method for this. So although like you know about set and update, but here we are discussing the differences, and to explain the differences, to demonstrate the thing, I'll show you one by one. So let's go to app.component.html. Here we will write paragraph tag. In paragraph tag we will write, this is the value of user ID 1, and then the value would be user ID 1, but this is a signal, so we will use this parenthesis here. Okay, now you can save it, and let's run the application. So to run the application on terminal, simply write ng serve -- open, enter. So it will take few seconds, and then it will open the application. Okay, in case if there is any error, it will show the error, otherwise it will be executed. So now you can see Angular signals demo. This is the value of user ID 1, which is 50. So far, like, we have just created one signal and printed it. But now just understand the requirement. Suppose there is a requirement where you want to change this 50 with 100. In fact, it doesn't matter like what exactly you are holding in this variable, you just want to change it or replace it with a new number which you want to use. So in that situation we will prefer set method, because we don't want to utilize the existing value, we just want to replace it. Okay, so to replace it, simply go to app.component.ts file. Here we will define one constructor, because we know that we need at least one function to run this up thing, and in this constructor we will write one comment firstly, using set method to replace and set a new value. Okay, using set method to replace and set a new value. Here we are completely replacing it, we are not going to use this 50. Okay, so now we will write this dot user ID 1 dot set parenthesis semicolon, and inside this we will assign the value, let's say 10. Okay, so now the output would become as 10 because we have set the value as 10. Okay, let's verify this. So let's go to here, and here you can see this value, this is the value of user ID 1 is 10 because it is updated to 10. Okay, now we will talk about the another example where we will define another signal just to show you the things clearly. Here we will define user ID to signal, and here we will mention the value, let's say 20. Okay, or yeah, 20. So now what we want to do, we want to print this value. Simply go to app.component.html file. Here we will write this is the value of user ID 2 equal curly braces. Here we will write user ID 2 parenthesis, and then let's go. Okay, something is wrong here. What it is showing does not exist. Okay, let's check if we made any spelling or case sensitivity issue. Let's copy it from here, or maybe it is not saved. Let's copy, go to here. Okay, so user user ID. Okay, so we made mistake. It should be user, not usered. We have one extra D here, right? So we will just simply remove it, and this, and always make sure that this is a case sensitive. So if you are writing something with a capital U, make sure to use that in a capital U itself, otherwise it won't work. Okay, fine. Now if you check the output, you will see, let me add break statement so that you can see it properly. Here I'll write BR tag. Okay, now you can see this is the value of user ID 1 is 10 and this is the value of user ID 2 is 20. We have two different value, but in this situation, now understand the requirement. Instead of 20, we want to make it 100, but I also want to use the existing value. I don't want to replace it entirely. I want to just use this value and make this value as 100. In simple terms, you can say that you want to use this in an expression to find the new value. Okay, so sometime in interviews you might answer the question in a way that in case of update, it can use the existing value or it can perform the expression. Okay, so let's see how it works. So go to app.component.ts file. Here we will simply write one comment using update method to update the value using expression. Okay, so I think expression is the right term for this, because now you will see that expression is used. Let me show you. So here we will write this dot user ID 2 dot update, and here inside this update we will put one variable name. It could be anything. Okay, let's say value, and it is not fixed that you need to use value only. You can use anything. Then one arrow bracket equal an angular bracket, and then expression. So let's say I want to plus 80. Okay, so what basically it will do, it will hold the existing value, old value, which is 20. So 20 plus 80 would become 100, and then you will see the output as 100. So let's see the output. Now you can see this is the value of user ID 2, which is 100. So here what we are doing, we are using the existing expression, and this thing can't be achieved in set method. Okay, so don't get confused. Let's try. So here if I write value, then comma equal value plus, so you can see it is showing error. Why? Argument of type value n is not assignable to the parameter number. Okay, it's because this is not a right thing, not a right value, and that's why we are getting this error. So in case if you want to perform the thing using some expression, you will use this update method. Okay, and while defining signal, I hope you know about this thing that we use to define like this only. This thing we have already discussed, that's why I didn't mention this in Hindi session, but fine. I think now you know about this thing and the difference also, like what is the difference between the set and update method. So I hope this session is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.